Yeah, that was my chance for the recently done Kickstarter. Okay, looks like I now have my stream pulled up. It looks like they're doing the right thing on getting new voice actors and plus like stuff. It's a sort of like fresh take or whatever. It's just my opinion here. Well, Ocean, like, due to certain circumstances, now anime companies go for like California instead of Vancouver. Like 2000 anymore. Canada is cheaper than America.
Okay, guys, it is 6 o'clock, or 9 o'clock if you're on the East Coast. Welcome to our live stream. It is our fancy town hall thing. So if you are here to hear about all the latest that we've been working on here at Media OCD, you are in the right place. I am joined by a special guest this time. I'm Justin Savakis, and I am the owner, CEO, whatever, the dude that works tirelessly to bring you the anime. And with us is another person who works tirelessly to bring you the anime. It is Caleb.
Hey, it's Shapes. Thank you guys so much for being here to our town hall. Welcome.
So yeah, we have we don't have a ton to go through today, just to get people raring to go for what we actually do have. We have one new license announcement. I was hoping for one or two more to get signed in time, but 'twas not to be. We have three titles that we have actually we have a verbal agreement, but we just have to get through the contract part, and that can take a little while. So let us get started, because we will have a couple other nifty things to talk about that are not a new license announcement. So, first and foremost among them is a little bit of a change. The AnimEigo logo that you and I know and love, the red one that is basically just italicized Helvetica. That is, we think, something that is a little too non-differentiated for 2024. So
nondescript.
Yeah, it's a little nondescript. It doesn't really say anything about who we are. And also, I've noticed that people don't know how to pronounce it.
No, AnimEigo.
Right. I hear that so often. So now, because everyone and their brother knows at least basic Japanese, we put little Furigana up there. And yeah, this will be what we're rocking going forward. And I'm looking forward to putting this on a T-shirt and maybe a hat. I don't wear hats, but I don't look. Do you, I wish I looked good in hats. I look like a balloon
Man,
wearing a yarmulke.
I feel like
Sheesh. No,
Well,
I mean,
the style
I've worn a lot of
previously
baseball
made, they should
caps
get
for
reprints
my
with that logo
uniform,
on
so
there for consistency
I
sake.
have a lot of
Even
them.
though this may
Yeah,
seem like
I wish I
I
looked good in hats.
suppose
I
the
just don't.
disc
My
control
head's too
should
round.
be updated with the new logo.
But anyway, we're really happy with this new logo. My good friend Sam Hauser created that for us. He actually specializes in this sort of thing, and he's a great guy. And thank you so much, Sam, if you're watching.
Looks
So
fresh.
yeah, it is fresh. So kicking off, let's talk about all of the stuff that we have produced as AnimEigo discs. A couple of them are out already, but most are still in the queue. So let's talk about it. First one is Riding Bean. This one is out. You can get this today. You can get this from Amazon. You can get this through Crunchyroll Store. You can get this through Diabolic DVD. You can get this through bunch of different places.
You can get this from our website.
Most importantly, you can get it from our website if you want that sweet slipcover that is exclusive to the web store. But some people didn't know that we found the German and the Catalan dubs of Riding Bean. Bean honestly sounds really young in German. And also, we shot a new interview with Kenichi Sonoda, a creator and manga artist extraordinaire. Our good friend Matt Schley took care of all that for us. It's a great interview, and it is on this disc. He tells you all about the experience of making Riding Bean and all of his influences. Clearly, a lot of early 80s American action films. Also, if you are at a convention that Discotech Media is at, and there's a booth, they probably have our titles. So, yeah, you can always pick it up there. Otaku no Video. Otaku no Video, it's in the process of coming out. It's officially out next week on Tuesday. But if you pre-ordered from MediaOCD.com, you probably have it already. So we have new liner notes. We have a glorious HD transfer that looks incredible. There are two versions on the disc. You can skip between the two of them, where one of them cuts out all the live action faux documentary footage, and some people don't like that very much, so you can skip it if you prefer, or you can watch it as it was intended. We've refreshed and freshly typeset the subtitles. It's a simple disc, but it's a great disc. Also, most importantly, it has Caleb's incredible trailer for it.
Thank you.
It is out basically on Tuesday, so check that out if you have not already.
I really love these O slip covers that you get exclusive from the Media OCD store. I didn't realize until someone had taken a photo of Talking to Video and Riding Bean ones that they're numbered on the spine.
Yep.
You slide.
Oh yeah,
We're doing them Criterion thing.
Gotta catch them all, right?
Oh man,
just like
love it so much.
So next up, we have the Megazone 2-3 trilogy. If you know me, you know that this is very near and dear to my heart. I actually was obsessed with Part 2 when I was in high school. So now we have all three on one disc. It's not substantially different from the previous release, but we did add a bunch of new bonus features, including the UK dub of Part 3. We found a UK trailer for Part 3. We found the UK recap of Part 3, which is like this whole new narration they made to tell you what the story was so far, because that's the only part that came out in the UK. We re-rendered all the credits to make it look, make it match the original Japanese, and looks like real movie credits now in English. Don't worry, the original Japanese credits are on there. We spiffed up the subtitles. We have a lot of trailers. We have the old ADV Films trailers on there. The Japanese trailers are closer to what they were in the Japanese. We didn't re-edit them in any way. It's good stuff. I'm very happy with how this turned out. It's insanely packed disc. It has the international version of Part 2 on there, which we achieved with seamless branching. I'll be honest, I was kind of sweating making this disc. So.
It's very special to you, right?
Yeah, exactly, and it had to be perfect.
I I'll also say that all three of these releases that we've talked about, if you order them from the Media CD store, there's if you've gotten the Kickstarter versions of these discs when AnimEigo formerly did the Kickstarters for these, we are offering a deal where if you show photographic proof of you supporting the Kickstarter, you can get it 50% off if you want to support these discs as well, which would mean a lot because it supports us financially in 2024, which allows us to keep making the future disc and making the licensing purchases that are very exciting for the future.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Because
And
that
in Megazone's
way,
case, this will also
any
work for the
other
previous mass
retailer
market disc.
they
So if
will
you have that,
won't be able
we'll
to
still
get
give you the
on
coupon
this
code.
date.
Pretty sweet.
Show that you get it from
But yeah, we're
just as much.
we're really happy that a lot of people have
It's like
taken
a
advantage of
50
that upgrade
split.
program. And if you want a coupon code of your very own, just go to the store page for the disc you want, and there's a link to the Google form. All right. Next up, whoops, sorry, wrong app. All right, next up we have Time of Eve. Time of Eve is an incredible movie, and we actually have something to announce with this. Uh, Matt Schley again worked with the licensor, directions, and our friend Anne, and we
Wow.
actually shot a brand new interview with director Yoshiura. It obviously a lot has changed since Time of Eve came out, especially when it comes to AI and what robots are capable of, and the very idea that you know AI might be the death of all of us has kind of entered the zeitgeist.
Like
So
Mhm.
Yoshihiro had a lot of thoughts
artists.
about this,
Like
and
AI
he
and
is
artists
happy and
just
willing
to
to share them.
share,
Also, happy and willing to share his thoughts on
Oh,
uh,
I see pale
what didn't
cocoon,
make it
new
into
French
Time of Eve that
jokes.
turned into a whole different
Like
film.
found
We
French
have
observer jokes.
thoughts
Like
on
I didn't
what
even
he could
think
do
of that.
to make a
Yeah,
sequel.
shoot.
There's a lot in there.
There
It's
are
a great
never
interview.
stuff for that. Well,
If you
You've
guys haven't seen Time of Eve
Bubblegum
yet,
cries to be
the whole
reprinted. They'll
premise
get
is
to that.
based on the
They'll
idea
soon
that
get
the
to that.
future's already here, and humanity's kind of already past the. I don't know if the Overton window's the word, but like they've all culturally come to really dislike robots, that they have to use them, that they're dependent on them now. It's kind of the same animosity culturally that we're feeling over AI, where it's like it's this future and we're already like sick of it. Like we don't want to see any of it. So seeing that kind of like challenged or culturally addressed in a film before AI became what it is now, very timely release, I think.
Yeah, this film has aged like a fine wine. Uh, Although, honestly, it's very optimistic. Maybe that optimism optimism didn't age well, but the rest of it did.
Well, yeah, that's the
Jeez.
thing. I think Yoshiro is his thoughts are very complicated on AI. Think, but it's very fascinating.
It is. It's a great film. I'm really happy to be bringing it out again. Oh, oh, looky here. We got something.
This is the trailer for Bubblegum Crash. They say new trailers come.
All right, Bubblegum Crash. I
And
mentioned
they call
before
the
that this
Spanish
one
coming
sort of
back.
killed us, killed me. Yeah, this one was tough. So to recap, episodes 1 and 3, the original film elements were lost forever, but we got lucky and found part 2 on Yahoo Auctions, or actually some friends of ours did. So we got it. We did a new 4K scan of it, and it was really badly damaged. So we had to do a lot to fix it. I tried to figure out some way to show you guys just how much fixing we had to do, but everything I could think of didn't look good on a stream. Suffice it to say that we had to pull some really dirty tricks to make this look good and sync with the audio, because there was quite a few frames missing, or just the splices were different on our version. What I think happened was the version we got was a film print that was made to chop up for artwork, and then they spliced the rest of it back together. So it doesn't synchronize with any audio, Japanese or English. So we had to, like, frame by frame, try to fix it. There's really not much else to say about that other than it looked pretty, and if we did it right, you hopefully won't notice. At any rate, we also are including the UK dub. UK dub was released with the original Japanese M&Es, which means that the songs are not dubbed, unlike the US version. And if you like old British manga video dubs, it's not sweary, but it is a lot of the cast of character, the voice cast that you might remember from back in the day. We also found the Castilian Spanish dub, so it was produced for the Spanish market by Selectavision. So that will be included as well, and we're also getting subtitles freshly translated into German for our German friends. So that is coming out at the mid to late January, January 21st. Our distributor always takes a couple weeks to figure stuff out after the holidays, being what holiday season being what they are. So January 21st for Bubblegum Crash. And then that trailer is so hot. I love it so.
Thank you.
Oh man, I've just been looping that for fun, by the way.
Oh,
And
great.
here is a look at our brand new artwork for it. It looks gorgeous. We have our friend Brady, to thank for it. So why did we pull it and reissue it? Well, we thought we could spiff it up and do an even better release of it. So in addition to the new artwork, which has a brand new slipcover, which I will show you at a later date, it is now a 2-disc set. So the previous 1-disc release, it was just a little too cramped. The bitrate was really low, and all the audio was compressed. I'm like, the audio's compressed. This is, a show that lives and dies by its musical soundtrack. But with that extra space, that means we can have a few other things to it. First of all, the Hurricane Live, both Hurricane Live OVAs, lossless audio, the Holiday in Bali voice actor concert special. That will all be on here. That interview that we did with Sonoda, we broke it up into 2 parts, and we got to talk about Bubblegum Crisis, so we have that part in here as well. However, brand new to this release will be Spanish subtitles,
Oh.
the Spanish dub, the hold on, I get my notes here. I've lost track here.
Bit of a laundry list.
Okay, we have Spanish, French, Italian, and Catalan dubs. Um,
Yeesh.
yeah, so none of those uh, have been synced with the Blu-ray officially before. So that is, we will be having an upgrade program once again. You can get the spiffy new release, and we hope this to be the last HD version. If we get to do a 4K at some point, that would be really nice. I don't know if that's happening or not, but I really want it to happen. But this is what we are coming out with, and it'll be out in February. So,
Huge.
what's coming after that? What's coming in
Tiger
March?
shirt.
Why?
I believe
Could
it's
it be a new
there.
license?
It's there.
Oh, it's a new one. It's
All
a
right.
new one.
Okay, so
It's just-
let me
okay,
preface
one sec.
this. We just signed this last week, so we did not have time to properly subtitle the trailer. So we just ganked what we could find on YouTube.
Dark,
We have the rights now. It's cool. We're gonna obviously redo this for the actual disc. This is the only time we will actually make use of this version of this trailer.
You'll learn more about this title as it goes as we go along.
Right. But it's a short one, but it's one that I can't believe wasn't properly released on Blu-ray here before. But we're fixing that.
Yeah.
Nope.
現在雲一つないアンダルシア地方。太陽の光が容赦なく戦士たちを照りつけます。おっと、ここでアタックだ。この酷暑の中、まだまだ道は遠いが賭けに出る。
お前の仕事を言う。勝利だ。そうでなくちゃ生まれた土地から出ていけないだろう。俺は遠くへ行きたいんだ。
レーサーになるならお前の方だと思ったよ。
忘れたい恋、忘れたい戦い、忘れたい土地から遠くへ行きたい。揺れ動く思いは今クライマックスへと駆け上がっていく。
お前が好きなのさ。
好きよ、ペペ。
ナス、アンダルシアの夏。
There it is. Nasu. Summer in Andalusia.
Nasu.
Yeah, I am so stoked. I got to see this in the theater ages ago, and I was like, when can I buy it? When can I buy it? When can I buy it? Nope, never happened.
That
Well,
was
the
in
good.
2003, Justin.
I know, I'm very old. So, yeah, this is an incredible film, and if it looks vaguely Ghibli-esque, that's because the director, Kitaro Kosaka, who later made Oko's Inn, this was his feature directorial debut, and he was Miyazaki's go-to animation director for many years. He did Princess Mononoke, Spirited Away, Howl's Moving Castle, Ponyo, The Wind Rises, and
Both animation director and character designer.
yeah,
And he's the character designer, animation director, and the writer for this film, on top of being the director.
it's
Dude's
such
got
a
his
brilliant.
hand. It's his. It's
Yeah.
his.
He wrote this. He did everything. We have a great new 37-minute interview with him that is incredible. So here's what happened. A company that is keen on streaming stuff bought the rights to it, and theirs came with home video rights. They weren't aiming to have home video rights, but they got them. And so we tried to get this title. We went to Japan to get it, and they're like, "Hey, someone's got it already." So we reached out, and they're like, "Oh, yeah, we have that. You want the
I guess we do.
want the home video rights?" And I'm like, "Yes, I do." So, by the way, this is. I'm really happy. I should mention it's only 47 minutes long.
Well,
It's great. It's not like it doesn't need to be feature length really. I think it's a
No.
really tight
I wonder
package.
who
But
has
with
the
that in
stream
mind,
version this
we're
week.
keeping the SRP low. The price will stay low
Yeah.
because it's not very long. But yeah, it's a great film. I can't wait for you all to see it. So
This is the kind of stuff that we're looking to license, you know, that's like really exciting stuff that hasn't really been picked up before. And there's no mid. This film is fantastic. It's not just the person behind it. Someone mentioned Urasawa character designs. It's true. Kosaka's kind of the go-to Urasawa guy. He's worked on Yawara, but he also did character designs for Master Keaton, Monster, and Pluto. He is kind of the guy that ensures that Urasawa's designs get transferred to animation like nearly perfectly. And they do kind of look like that in Nasu.
yeah. I should mention that Maruyama Sensei himself produced this film at Madhouse. So this is like peak Madhouse before the
The
a bunch
glut.
of people left.
I don't think so now.
This was Madhouse at its absolute peak of the early 2000s. So, good stuff. Good stuff. Unfortunately, we're not dubbing this one. We don't have the materials to dub it.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a shame. We're not quite at a place yet where we can dub stuff, but hopefully soon. Oh, yeah, Christmas is coming, and we hope to be prepared for that. We have a very talented artist working on new licensed T-shirts for Bubblegum Crisis. So that will be rolling out in the next few weeks, and keep an eye out for that. Can't make any announcements yet, but the artwork is being commissioned as we speak.
It's really exciting. We're doing a lot more like extra, like it's not just Blu-rays that we're releasing, it's like merchandise, you know, we're kind of going out, you know, branching out and that sort of thing.
Yeah, I mean, a lot Bubblegum Crisis and Riding Bean, we actually do have merch rights for. I don't know if
Yeah.
there's a huge market for Riding Bean merch, but Bubblegum Crisis, I think we can sell some of that. So we'll see what we can do. Also, the Time of Eve people are interested in doing merch. We'll see if the sales lend
Support that.
things to that direction. I think they kind of did as much merch as the market could take back to when they did the Kickstarter, but I could be wrong about that. So hopefully I'm wrong.
Yeah. It reminds me of this answer man you did years ago of like, why isn't there good anime merch? And it's just the thing on the T-shirt, and you're like, well, it's not easy.
No, it's not. And that was me being diplomatic in print.
Yeah.
The real answer is that, you know, basically you do anything super crazy, and a lot of times the licensor just, they don't want to go back to the original creator. It's like, hey, look, someone really screwed with your art, but it looks cool, right?
Yeah.
So they're just like, no, just put the key art on the T-shirt and sell it.
Right.
Luckily, the licensor for Bubblegum Crisis is pretty cool. They let us they'll let us get away with anything reasonably responsible. So.
Within reason. Right.
So let's talk about some of the trailers that you've made. That Bubblegum Crisis trailer is pretty cool. How long did that take you?
Like 2 days, I think. Actually, well, it took me longer to watch the show than it did for me to compile it, because I hadn't seen Bubblegum Crisis. When you messaged me like, for now, I must have the greatest Bubblegum Crisis trailer ever, and I'm like, great, I'll go watch it.
And
it took me a while to get around to it.
Yeah, but you pulled footage from every episode, didn't you?
Yeah, it's worth it in this instance when it's like only 8 episodes. I try to be as comprehensive with, because I guess as a viewer, I think you can tell, at least if you edit videos like me, then you watch another person's video, you're like, oh yeah, they're all just taking clips from episode 1. Yep. And then there's all that, you know, and then I don't know. It's not like the worst thing, but it's not reaching its full potential when you look through the whole, when you're trying to use all that you have available to you, you know.
Yeah.
Try.
Yeah. So let's see, what else have you been working on since? So you have actually been our editor for a number of years now. You might have just gone full time, but we've been working together a long time now.
Yeah, I looked back and I started October 17th was my 2019 was my first job quality checking Govarian.
Ooh.
And
yeah,
then,
I remember you having that reaction to the hand, and so there was
I found the hand. I was freaking out because I was like, "What do I do?"
Yeah, for those who don't know what we're
like,
talking about, Govarian was animated very quickly, and there is one scene where someone's hand is in the shot.
Yeah, when they're moving the cell and they photograph the hand. Kenny Lauderdale has talked about it, or tweeted about it. But you quickly found other quality checkers that are way better than me at it, and you're like, let's find other things for you to do. And I ended up doing a lot more like closed captions, like polishing a lot of closed captions for dub-only releases. And then it was Grimm's Fairy Tales that we had the Japanese masters as well as the dub, because the show aired on Nickelodeon in the 80s.
Right.
And so you were like, would you be able to match the Japanese footage, which looks way better and like, nice quality, to these English rips that we have of the dub?
Yeah, that's right. I remember now. The Japanese masters we had they were SD, but they were digital still, so they looked really good. And we were only able to get the English version from a 3/4 inch U-matic tape. And if you're not familiar, those look around VHS quality. They were not releasable like that. So
yeah, beat up. So yeah, I did that editing and like cut out, had to match because they cut out like stuff for commercial breaks, but also like trying to censor some things like satanic imagery and things like that.
Right.
And that led me eventually to like doing those similar edits for our Digimon releases for Adventure and Adventure 2. And then it was around like when you had told me that we were releasing Dear Brother, and I was like, I think I was suggesting like, can I make a trailer for it? And you're like, yeah, sure.
Yeah, you're just a little bit of a Dazaki nerd.
Oh, huge. Love the guy. Love his stuff. And I'm really honored to be a part of so many of his releases in the United States, several of which were for the first time Aim for the Ace and Treasure Island. It really such an honor and the kind of a highlight for me. And then it wasn't. I think it was before. It was in between the trailer there, and that was my first trailer. And I've made trailers since then. But then in between that was we were doing Memories, and you were dubbing it. Helped a little bit with that. But then,
you made the bonus. You cut the bonus features for that. Oh, you helped. Yeah. I mean that was I think our best tag team so far has been the music documentary on Project ACO.
Yes, yeah. The Memories stuff kind of, there was a couple of those, and that was like the first ones, and then ACO has been like kind of that centerpiece one so far, kind of the high. I agree.
Yeah, and then my favorite trailer moment with you is when you found out that Discotheque got Berserk, and you just like made a trailer.
Yeah,
we're just talking about it in the work Slack, and they're like, you're like, oh, here you go, and we're just like, what?
You had told me over the phone in August, and I happened to have the footage because I released a video featuring Berserk on my YouTube channel, so I had the footage, and I was like, anyway, I'm just gonna do this right now. And then surprised you with it like that, like think that night or the day after, and you're like, what the but yeah, I was very happy with that.
This is a really nice job we have.
Seriously, I'm very lucky, and I'm very honored to be a part of it. Thank you very much.
You have earned your stripes, my friend. So one, I was actually thinking, how did we meet? Like, I really don't even remember.
I'll tell you off stream. I don't think we need to talk with a.
Got it.
Don't worry.
Fair enough. Now I'm curious.
But no, it's okay. But like, yeah, I really wanted to be a part of this industry.
TV.
Just so I asked.
Yeah. Oh,
And you just happen to be looking for people. So
yeah.
that's
Oh,
that is literally a
Legal means. No, not
you know,
really.
it's so funny how often that is just the case. You happen to have a skill that someone is looking for at any given time, and we're just like, actually, um,
right.
Lord knows that's how I got hired back in the day. Also
Yeah.
doing editing. My trailers are not as good as yours, so
Oh, thank you. I
mind
I
you,
do recommend.
you haven't cut a trailer for Night Shift Nurses yet, so
Yeah, that's you know what I commend you for that. I did do Kite, so that's not nothing.
touche,
But
touche.
yeah, but yeah, no, I can't really handle that. I wouldn't be able to. I don't think.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't put you through that. There's still a chunk of my soul that has not grown back. Um,
Heck is nice.
so we
Like,
are we mentioned this a little bit before, but we have a secret project, don't we?
Yeah. So a ways before, so it actually ties into how we are AnimEigo right now.
Right.
So I met you in person for the first time at Otakon in 2021, and it was around that time when you pitched me the idea of doing this documentary series. Because at the time, it just seemed like you described it to me as like how Lorne Michaels got his success with this VHS company or this main venture that no one knows that he had, that he got all his like
Right.
money
Broadway
from.
video.
Right. And SNL has always been kind of his passion project that he just does for fun type of deal, but it seems like but it comes to a net positive and everything.
Yeah.
It was kind of the way you framed it for me, and I won't forget that. But it was a documentary series about the anime industry in the United States, really mainly told from a business perspective.
Right.
Because the majority of times this has been told or seen is from a fan's perspective, which they can do. Like that.
Right.
That's there's plenty of information and it's well documented and everything like that. But
Right. The problem is a lot of times fans don't know who to ask and even what to ask. Like
yes,
they weren't there for it. They don't know, how things
right.
happen behind the scenes. You have to know enough to really dig.
And even just getting the context from those people of what it was actually like back then as a fan, because I think I do, you still hear testimony of like, oh, with the VHS fan sub tapes and things, but they were like, yeah, so I mean, I found out about this stuff from a public access channel where this guy came on and shouted like, "This is from Japan," like it's like crazy stories. And a lot of these people are still alive,
Yeah.
and still doing their thing and whatever. But you're right, and you were like you're like the single best person to tell this story, because you have that older experience, but you also have been in the industry since the 90s and has seen it like go through the whole thing. You're the founder of Anime News Network, so you're also reporting on a lot of this news and remember when certain things went bust or
Yep.
certain announcements happened or whatever.
And then I went really pro and started being a part of the news.
Yeah, right. So like you were like perfect for telling this story, and I've been really excited about it. I still really am. So you started going out and filming and interviewing these people.
Yep.
And so we have tons of these interviews from industry professionals, old veterans that aren't in it anymore, very familiar faces, but also faces you probably haven't heard of that have really valuable stories. And one of them was Robert Woodhead, the founder of AnimEigo, who is also created Wizardry and one of the OG people. And there's one point, there's a question you asked him of like, so how long are you going to keep doing this? And he's like, well, I'm retired. I effectively do this for fun. I can stop whenever I want. And you're like, oh, okay, yeah. And then the cameras turn off, but you also have like kind of left the audio going for another like 20 minutes or something. I know this because I've been editing these documentary things. I've been like kind of chopping them up and clipping them, whatever. And there's the 2-minute segment of Robert coming up to me like, yeah, so remember when I told you I could stop any time? I'll let him say it the way he says it, but that is the moment when he asks you of like, would you be interested in?
Yeah, as I recall, my reaction was something along the lines of, yes.
He's like, I would be honored. You said, I remember you saying, I would be honored that you would ask me that. Let's talk.
Yeah. Okay.
And everything.
Hey, are you saying I was actually professional?
Yes. Oh, you were very professional. I mean, I didn't know what your face looked like, so of what your reaction was. I'm sure it was jaw on the floor.
Yeah. Yeah. It was who knew that was the beginning. Oh. So there's a lot in there. We've uncovered some crazy stuff. There was a Spice Girls anime that never saw the light of day.
Man.
There was I found some stuff. So anyway, long story short, the streaming market and honestly most of Hollywood has imploded. There is no longer a market for esoteric showbiz documentaries with the big streamers, and no one's even pitching that, let alone buying it. So I had these 30 plus interviews that I had flown all over the fucking world to shoot.
You've flown to England too to get some people from Manga UK as well.
I did
you were gonna be it's legit.
I spent some money on this. I really did. I was in New York 3 times. I shot in DC. I shot in a bunch here in LA. I haven't touched San Francisco or Texas yet, so I need some way to keep it going. Regardless, so now that we have AnimEigo and we're trying to build something with this brand, because frankly a lot of younger fans don't know who we are yet. The brand has not been relevant in a number of years to anybody but us, old timers. So we're going to be using this, and this will be on this here YouTube channel. We will be cutting these interviews down to be one at a time. So it'll be one month it'll be Robert Woodhead, and then the next month it'll be John O'Donnell. We have 4 hours with John O'Donnell.
That's the thing. You have the John O'Donnell one is so long and so unbelievable. The dude's the goat. I can't. I knew but his name and everything, but this guy's incredible.
Why do you think I learned so much from him?
This is Justin's senpai, sensei, whatever.
Yeah, you have to remember that even though people goofed on him because he had notoriously terrible taste, which he was pretty proud of, and he was kind of this crazy libertarian, super intense, businessman. He was the youngest division president ever at Sony. So he knew how to business, and he taught me a lot. I really owe him one.
It was him and who is it? What was his name? Shoot, the guy who helped anime get into Hollywood Video.
Oh, Mike Vescuzzi.
Yeah, Vescuzzi. Because it's the two of them is the reason
Hollywood Video. He got into Blockbuster.
Yeah, just Blockbuster. Yeah. They're conflated for me.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
It's fair. No, but the fact that you could see Akira or Ghost in the Shell or Ninja Scroll or the stories that countless of us have of seeing anime for the first time is due to these men making those deals, because that was actually kind of a hard deal to make for a long time.
Have you got to the Jerry Beck interview yet?
No.
Oh my God, I can't wait for you to see that one.
I've seen one interview with Beck that you cut earlier, but I don't know, but maybe another one. But
I didn't realize this until we were shooting. It turns out we're neighbors.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Los Angeles.
Those stories are great. The Beck one I have watched is phenomenal. He's the co-owner of Streamline Pictures.
Yeah. He walked away about midway when things started to get a little weird. But he was the guy that was oh, we can dub some Ghibli movies and release them in theaters, but not get home video rights. It's just
and the crux of this the value of this interview, and for me, is that like, and the way you pitched it, of course, is that like anime has become so ubiquitous and mainstream now and accepted, where like major celebrities and athletes are openly watching it and loving it, and it's cool to like it. And the fact that like there was initially so much pushback that like, what was like the I don't want to get this wrong, but like the Grave of the Fireflies, like someone was trying to screen Grave of the Fireflies and they were getting some pushback from that.
Yeah, I don't remember where that was. It was somewhere in there.
Yeah, I
did
don't
30
want
of
to
these.
misquote in case
Well,
in case you're like, what the fuck? But I remember you telling me it, and I couldn't believe it.
Well, I
'cause
wanted to,
it seems unheard of now.
yeah, I know. I wanted to keep the focus of this doc on business because, frankly, anime fans tell their own story, and
Yeah.
a lot of times it's a fairly similar story. You just really, really love this thing, and that's pretty much all there is to it. And so I will destroy myself to make this crazy website, or I will, go crazy learning how to fan sub or whatever.
Yeah, and to see that energy channeled like into a business world, to see that like to have pushback on a professional level, and like John's story of like showing a Dominion tank police to this like group of like licensed like people selling stuff, like I don't know what it was, some kind of like
Oh, I think it was a
expo.
trade show. I think
It was like a trade show, yeah.
Yeah.
And everyone like going like livid over like the cat girls, in like the striptease type of thing at the beginning of the thing. And he's like, "What?"
Yeah, yeah. The guy
Crazy.
loved his he had a dirty taste as well. So that's all coming. We're gonna be posting like one of these.
I would like to do one a month.
Per month. So the current plan is we're trying to figure out how to monetize this because I want to continue doing this, but I can't afford to do this out of pocket. So we're coming up with some plans where fans can support it as an ongoing project. With it in mind that we're not going to be like doing a whole lot of voice actor interviews because honestly, voice actors, it's all the same job. There's not a whole lot there, and they also tell their own story pretty well and very prominently. So it's going to be the people that you don't normally hear from, the guys that were at a desk and trying to work deals.
But
So
you
yeah,
see them in like all their book, like all your manga books. If you open to like the copyright page or whatever, you'll probably see them like translated by this person or like produced by such and such.
yeah. If they're listed at all, they're listed as like a producer, and fans are like, I don't know what that is. Flip.
Oh yeah, like I've been listed as associate producer on a lot of the discotheque titles, and I as a fan I wouldn't have looked twice at these people, but like for the people that are willing to share their stories, they're really incredible.
Oh yeah. We did do a couple voice actors that I thought had interesting points of view, and I'll do like one or two more, but no more than a handful.
Right, it's within reason. You don't want to interview anybody and everybody.
Right.
But it's whatever kind of like adds to it. And ultimately, I would love to someday, making it kind of what you had in mind to fruition with these interviews, which is just the actual like
Glossy Netflix style documentary
narrative of the four. He had like 4 episodes in mind, and they were gonna go over literally from like the beginning to Crunchyroll. Like
I mean,
that whole thing.
I had written a few treatments, and you read these treatments. They were like pages and pages. It was crazy.
Yeah, and the arc's really fascinating, and the fact that you were like finding stuff and digging some of this stuff, and then you had to put your journalist hat on, and be like, I have to verify this. I have to make sure this is real.
Oh, there were some allegations that were made.
Yeah, like the allegations and like the drama. Like no way.
Anyway, so that'll be coming starting early next year. We're aiming to have the first one up in January, I believe. Is that right?
Yeah, I'd like to. I'm working on it now, and we're starting with Robert Woodhead only because it makes sense for the former owner, like creator of our company. It makes sense to him to tell his story first, and it's great. Very interesting.
So I got a couple people asking for full moon updates. We have all the materials now. We have okay, so let me go through this. So we have all the materials. We're going through it. We found all of the Viz subtitles, so we'll be working off of those and spiffing them up. I think they might have left some songs untranslated, so we'll be going back and adding translations for those. Unfortunately, we asked and we were denied the use of the little short bonus OVA. I think it's like 10 minutes long. That was included with, I think, Ribbon Magazine at one point.
Oh yeah, I know, I've seen that. That's too bad.
Yeah, it is. So apparently, when they
It's
made
really
that,
cute and like not in good quality.
it's literally called Cute Cute Special.
Ha!
Um, but
It's on the tin.
well, unfortunately, when they make these little short little one-off anime with the staff and cast of a show that's currently on the air as it was at the time, they write these contracts in that it's like, okay, we can't pay a lot of money to do this because it's just a freebie, so we'll only release this once and then that'll be it.
Yeah,
So you're not going to
it
charge
gives
us a
some
lot,
kind
right?
of limited like exclusivity thing.
So they're literally not allowed to reprint it, or
Oh.
we'll license it out. So
All
that's
right.
that.
Well, you point to, hey, it exists. Go look for it. But
Yeah,
that's
the
the
big
breaks.
the big problem with it is, that the manga publisher Shueisha, they just want to make sure that everything is what we say it is. So like a fan very graciously offered that she managed to get a hold of the original Ikante, the storyboards, and we're like, hey, can we use this? And they're like, we can't verify that those are the actual storyboards. I'm like, yeah, I suppose you're right. You'd have to like assemble the director.
Do you have the original? Like, where? That's so
That's
weird.
the thing. This show is from 15 plus, 2000. Oh my God, so long ago. 20 years ago. This is a 20-year-old show. They don't have a lot of the stuff to verify it.
Yeah.
So we're seeing what we can do bonus feature wise. It's a work in progress. In the meantime, we're still waiting on the final contract. So that we're waiting to put that on the schedule. It should be pretty soon, I would think. We just had one minor change, and their lawyers are looking over it now. We have actually 3 other shows that we have reached a verbal agreement with that we're just waiting for contract on. So
Yeah,
there's
I'm very happy with them. Very
everything
excited.
takes so long. Everything takes so long.
Yeah, and then you're saying also that like the struggle with that you're facing, that obviously we knew about, but weren't able to like talk about it because it was Mr. Discotheque that had to deal with these sorts of things. But like
Right.
hearing about like the struggles of trying to license something, of like just hearing back from these people, and then like having them say yes, and then there's a contract, and you don't want to say like yes to too many things, because if they all come back with you like, let's do it, and you're like, I already committed too much money to the other thing.
Yeah, I don't have money yet. Yeah, it's a slow build. It's a snowball effect. So
it's a tough game. It's
it
very
is. It is. Also, very important. The first copy of the Megazone are here. They just arrived.
Look at
Fresh
that.
fresh off the press. So I don't have the slipcover yet. That's coming from a different printing plan.
That'll be number 3.
Yeah. This is, although the spine number is 5 because I had to reorder things unexpectedly.
Okay.
Let's see. Oh, did I interview Mr. Discotheque? No, Selby does not like to be on camera. Selby does not like attention.
No. Besides, and I also just think that if you were to like get him to sit down, he's like, I don't know, I just got the thing, and it happened. Like he's very, he's kind of frank, like very.
Yeah.
I don't know. He's not like a storyteller like JOD or whatever.
Yeah, that's true. I don't think that'd be a great interview.
Yeah,
but
it wouldn't be very. It'd be like, oh, okay.
I think I love Selby. I think he's awesome. But
Oh my God, we all have him to thank for the fact that all of this is available to us, and like that there's a market for this. Because can you imagine like without a discotheque actually actively trying to go and get these licenses, who's going to? Crunchyroll, like Sentai, like they're not. I mean, I'm happy that Sentai's getting a couple of these. They're doing. I think it's cool that they're doing like Nana and Dunline and stuff. But like, Selby's going out there and doing and getting this stuff and getting Berserk and fighting for Ippo, and he like tried to get Ippo for like 3 years or something, right?
longer, I think.
Yeah.
So yeah, let me go through some of these questions. There's a lot. Do you have a newly animated?
Control F a question mark.
Right. Do you have a newly animated logo for AnimEigo? We just like I literally just got that final image from Sam like a couple hours ago. So we are going to make a new animated logo. We don't know what that's going to be yet. I have some ideas.
Yeah.
Let's see. Remember Asia Pulp Cinema, the live action branch of Central Park Media? Do I remember? I edited a bunch of those trailers. Some of those movies are so bad. Like literally, you had like there were more than one of them where there was a literal 5-minute shot of a skinny naked woman sitting on a bed holding a gun and staring off into space. 5 minutes.
Did it at least have some nice jazz playing?
No.
Oh.
No, it was like, someone laying on a cord on a synth.
Like nice ambient music. I'm sure if it was uploaded to YouTube, it'd be like an hour long.
I kid you not. I would scrub through these movies. I would just scrub through the whole thing looking for anything that moves, clipping it, putting it on the timeline, and if I was lucky, I'd hit a minute.
Oh, man. That'd be a fun challenge. That'd be interesting.
Let's see. Why can't we sell Discotech stuff through the Media OCD store? So Discotech has a whole lot of discs, and I'd like to carry a few of them. The problem is which ones and how much do I buy, and it's like it's one of those things where I would like to do it, but it's just I'm stretched too thin. Selby's stretched too thin.
Yeah, it has more logistics than you'd think. It is sort of like an ordering like a certain number of discs and like making an actual like pragmatic estimate of how many you have to do.
Right,
just sending it to our fulfillment center, and then
we're still growing the store as well. So if it's not, if we can't sell more than a few hundred copies, it's not worth it to Selby to have yet one more place that he has to box and send stuff to. And I don't know that we can do that for everything yet. I definitely know we could do that for some titles, but it's a tough thing.
We only just recently crossed 1,000 orders from the Media OCD website, which yay! In
really?
Less than a year. Was it 1,000?
6 months, yeah. It's been 6 months. We launched on April 1st.
Yeah. I think that I don't have any frame of reference with this, but I think that's pretty cool, especially considering like that doesn't even count Crunchyroll or Amazon. So a lot of people buy through there. But we appreciate those 1,000 people that are going through our store because again that is supporting us direct. I don't know if they copyrighted that, but yeah, it's really important going through there. We really appreciate it.
Yep. Will there be more streaming options for AnimEigo Anime on Hoopla? So when we get streaming rights for a show, our distributor MVD offers it to Hoopla, and if they want it, they can take it. But it's kind of an up to them thing, and we don't get streaming rights for everything. Like Nasu is coming from a streaming company, so they don't we don't have streaming rights for Nasu.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. Any non-anime titles planned? Not right this second. I'm in discussions for a non-anime piece of animation, but I don't have anything. Like I've been concentrating on anime because y'all buy stuff. Well, not only that. Well, Whole Grain Pictures is a thing. Hey, remember guys? Whole Grain Pictures.
Yeah, it is.
But
those two movies are fantastic.
Yeah, please,
and I'm not
please,
just saying that
please
because
buy
I've
them.
worked on them. I really am not. So there's plenty of Discotech titles that were like, we worked on that, or whatever. And I'll be honest about that. But seriously, Journey from the Fall and Too Much Sleep, phenomenal movies. Too Much Sleep. I'm so happy we did what we did with it.
I am really, really proud of these, and I'm very happy that we've sold a few hundred copies. But man, the disparity between anime and live action films that nobody has heard of is a pretty vast one. Like
Can you?
Regarding
I was not prepared for just, you know, how much of a difference there'd be. And, you know,
The
since
disparity, right?
yeah,
that's
like
more
I
Big West than
I will
anything.
do more at some point. I just need a better plan. I need to
Like, they're trying to find
strategize a little bit
somebody
more because
all Macross
I
in the
paid
US.
full disclosure, I paid a lot of money for Journey, and it at the rate I'm going, it'll probably be like 5 or 6 years
Even
before I make it
though
back, if I even make it back.
Anime
Right.
Limited
Um,
But like,
and
yeah,
AnimEigo
and
do
this
their
isn't a
stuff on
charity,
Macross.
right? You know, this is a business, and so it isn't even like a YouTube thing. We have a saying in YouTube. It's like one for me, one for you, because
right.
these poor YouTubers, they have to make videos, and they have to make ones for the algorithm, and then they can make one that they'll like, but won't necessarily do well. So like that's something they can operate in, but it doesn't really work the same in a physical media selling copy by copy type of business.
Caleb, if you make me do YouTube face for the thumbnails on these, I'm
No,
gonna be
no,
really
I don't
happy.
do face for the thumbnail. So hell no, I'm not like that. But I don't do amazing. So what do I know?
Oh, here's a good question. Can we make money through digital rentals? So we actually do have all of our stuff up for rental on like Amazon and YouTube's like rental section.
Yeah.
The They don't bring in that much money. People just, especially serialized stuff like one-off movies, they actually can do okay. Live action stuff actually does way better on those platforms, but anime fans just aren't in the habit of looking there for stuff.
No, you would, yeah, of course not. Especially with less like the amount of OVA, the stuff that we license,
Hmm.
getting uploaded completely in full by fans onto YouTube, and then you have to be the bad guy and
Yeah, I don't love doing that. I wish people would just like.
Honestly,
I literally took down I took down three Bubblegum Crisis uploads this week. It's like, come on, you know this is available.
right. There, you know, and you're coming from the environment of you know, the chivalry of the fan sub era of like, hey, when this gets licensed,
Take it
ghetto,
down.
go
Doesn't
fuck
exist.
off. Yeah, you know, and they're like, get rid of these, hide the body. But doesn't always work out that way.
What about Apple iTunes rentals? That's actually worse. iTunes video sales and rentals have really died off. Really died off. And what's worse is Apple makes content partners pay for their you have to submit it through their QC people and you have to pay for that. And oftentimes you don't really even make your money back doing that. So we just can't be bothered. Let's see. Will you guys have a Discord? I don't really want to have another Discord to keep track of. I barely handle the ones I'm in. What do you think, Caleb?
I'm very similar. I'm in them, a lot of them out of like cordiality, of like, yes, I'm here too. You know, like it's nice you invited and everything. But a lot of people only kind of hang out in their specific spaces. I do think there is value to an idea like that, but I think we have to be specific about it and like very mindful and purposeful, and not just because I think everything that we do, as it is with our discs, is quality. Is really like high quality and mindful, thoughtful, and very demure. To be
Shame on you for using that word, but I do want to have like a sense of community. I want to start like collecting our coolest fans and just having like a cool hangout for them. Actually, I'll throw this to you guys. What do you think if we brought back the web forum? Is that something you'd participate in? I'm just curious. Or is everyone just hangs out on Reddit these days?
I think a lot of people hang on in various places, and Discord included. Although I think with Discord there is the danger of a siloed community where, you know, a lot of culture happens within these Discords, but then they never escape those Discords. You know, like a lot of people have great time group watching things or discussing things or sharing things. but that doesn't reach out and create more fans and more people necessarily. It enriches the existing fans, which is great, and I think that is something we want to do, especially at the pace that we're releasing these titles. I want us to be different from Discotech in the fact that like we release 7 or 10 discs a month over there, and so countless of those titles just get completely buried by other titles or just the sands of time,
Yeah.
and then you forget that we released Lasner. Like Lasner's crazy good up when I hear. I actually haven't seen Lasner yet, but like that would have been a great opportunity. Like that's huge that we got Lasner and not many people know about it. For the people who do know about it, that's huge news.
Yeah, I'd like to have just a community of people who are into the classics and just like, maybe make it like, classic something awful in that pay a little bit of money up front to keep the riffraff out, keep it, and, just kind of pay for the upkeep and maybe we can offer some like bonuses as a thank you for people that are willing to do that, but kind of make it like a Patreon type thing.
Yeah, not that keeping the riffraff out, but if we're investing money into it, that would incentivize us, I think, to make sure we're maintaining it and actually like doing things on that community and being active there, ideally. And there's a lot of communities that I'm a part of that I think do a fantastic job that we can learn from in that way, or encourage in that way, I guess.
Full disclosure, like we're okay right now financially. Like we had a
Yeah.
really scary couple months over the summer,
Good.
just because I had spent like probably $80,000 out of pocket just spinning everything up, and the money wasn't quite coming in yet. But during that time, I was just like, man, I wish that there's so much that I want to license that I don't know has enough legs to make it worth releasing, but it still deserves a release. What if we could have like a really cool community that we could do sort of a Patreon type thing and make it worth their while? They'd get something for that, but like maybe a few bucks a month, and if we get enough people, that would take care of like our day to day, and then all the revenue that we get from selling stuff we can actually put back into licensing obscure things.
Yeah.
Like that
like we
would
were
be
saying,
really
like
cool.
the one for you, one for me type of thing. But and then again, not treating it as a charity. But it is kind of I phrased it this way when we were having a company Zoom meeting last month, where a lot of the our fans with the Discotheque and now AnimEigo, like the crossover, a lot of them are kind of like that. Oh, why am I blanking on the movie now? Oh no, Starship Troopers.
Mhm.
It's like this. It's like the meme from Starship Troopers. Like I'm doing my part of like supporting these discs, and in the hopes that like we might license something that they are actually interested in, which is not a bad problem. I think that's really great. But I really want those of you who purchase our discs really then take that opportunity to then open the disc and put it in and watch it, and then really like kind of discuss it, and then so I think for our community like that would be great, so that we actually have like kind of a whole like, oh my gosh, Time of Eve came out, let's all watch Time of Eve and discuss it and talk about it, and I don't know, and celebrate Yoshiura as a director.
Oh God, that's the dream, isn't it? Because like a lot of this stuff, anime in the West has always been divorced from its original context. And from what I've seen over my years doing this is that if you can have those discussions, if you can, educate fans on the creators and work with them to like actually engage, you get a lot more buy-in. You get a lot more people caring and realizing the stuff is important and cool.
Yeah, and it gets back to kind of what it used to be like when I'm watching these interviews that you filmed, and they describe the kinds of communities they were a part of. It sounds jank, but also like really nice. I think we have today. I think it's cool. It's a cool community in its own way. It has its own pluses and minuses, and maybe some things stay the same in terms of the negatives. Like you always have the jerks or whatever. But I do want with this company to be more, especially because we have to separate ourselves from the juggernauts that have been here for years. I mean, this company's been here longer than any of them, to be fair.
Yep.
But like, we have an opportunity to be different.
We're already different.
Well, yeah.
By the way, just
More
to
different
unbox a little bit, we have see if I can get a good
Nice.
image on this.
Oh, look at that new logo.
Yep. We have Eve.
The fact that we get new logos for our stuff,
Yeah.
If they're grody, imagine.
And then
I'm not subtweeting anybody. I don't know anyone. I don't know what I'm saying.
then the interior is this nice shot of the garland.
Yeah.
That came out pretty
Again,
nice.
the Megazone. When I cut the trailer, that was also my first time watching the Megazone trilogy.
I love part 2 so much.
Yeah,
It's so messy, and like clearly the animators straining to the peak of their capabilities, but at the same time it's like they're reaching so far and achieving it about 80% of the time.
Yeah, and the fact that this trilogy has 3 different character designers, like each part looks completely different. That like you wouldn't believe that it's the same OVA. You straight up wouldn't. And it's really fascinating in that way, and seeing kind of the differences. I think I'm very nerdy. Like I ended up, kind of making YouTube videos that really dive deep into some of this stuff and really analyzing this stuff really closely. And more of that can be done, not just by me, but like plenty of other people. I'm not saying everyone should go frame by frame on episode 23, but I don't see why not. I also don't. Yeah, I don't know. I think the pace that we're doing this with, it just gives us the opportunity to really celebrate this and give an opportunity to watch some of these stuff that a lot of people who became fans in 2020, like during the pandemic. Like a lot of these are new fans. Haven't seen Bubblegum Crisis. Haven't seen Otaku no Video. Haven't seen Writing Bee. So why not? It's a great time to.
So a couple people here in the chat asking about adult anime, and so actually that was the one thing. There's nothing in writing that's binding me to this, but Natsume, when we were completing the bio, she's like, by the way, please don't release hentai. And I was like, yeah, I don't want to release hentai. There are other people that can do that, and
It's found its home in its own eco space. I think it makes sense at the time with how many were being released on physical media, because that was the only way that it would exist. It wouldn't be on television, it wouldn't be on movies. That's what kind of like it pushed the OVA to be what it is. But now the OVA doesn't really exist. It's an ONA. It just kind of gets put on digitally, and plenty of hentai still gets made, but it goes in the channels that it goes in.
Beyond that, though, there is huge business problems to releasing hentai. In fact, we're
experiencing it right now with Kite.
Right, yeah, Crunchyroll won't take it. We were talking this to Selby about stocking it at the Media OCD store. Then I looked at the Wix terms and conditions, and Wix won't let me stock it. Because you're expressly not allowed to sell adult content.
So even if Natsume didn't say those things, we wouldn't be able to anyway.
No, if you notice, like CPM back in the day, Right Stuff back in the day, Media Blasters, they all had separate corporations, whole separate holding companies for hentai, and like you can't even, and they didn't sell direct to consumer. You can't even use normal credit card processors for hentai, so it's just not going to happen anytime.
They are real. They are literally a persecuted class, like a class.
I am not interested. Let me put it that way. I'm not interested.
I get it. I'm not either.
I am a gay man. This stuff does nothing for me.
The majority, yeah. Yeah, I get you.
Let's see. AnimEigo is older than some of the Media OCD employees. Truth.
I think including me. It's 1988, right?
Yep.
Yeah, older than me.
I was 8.
I'm turning 30 next month.
Oh, you absolute fossil.
Oh, you fossil. I know, it's poor me. Poor me. I'm stressing about it every day.
By the time you were born, I was old enough to have PTSD.
Yeah, I get you.
Let's see. What about ecchi? And it
What
would have,
about ecchi?
yeah.
It's
Like
not
frankly, a
hentai.
lot of those ecchi shows just aren't very good. They're meant to be like these quick little gag anime that haven't aged very well. Also, they're kind of rapey. A lot of them.
Yeah.
I don't like putting that out there. I feel like the amount of erotic stuff that Japan produced in the 80s that was not rapey it's not as high a
None
ratio as I'd like it to be.
hidden gems.
Right.
Yeah.
Um,
Need more trans anime,
what else we got
Some
going on
nice
here?
stuff, you better come on. The
Um,
manga just got rescued.
music videos on the new Bubblegum Crisis set. Yes, not only are the recut HD ones on there, but also the
That was long
Hurricane
ago.
Live
All the
2032
examples.
and 2033 specials from whence they came. They will all be on there. The specials will still be in standard def. Um, so I only the little backstory here. AnimEigo hasn't released any SDVDs yet because A, I haven't licensed anything that's only an SD, um, or not easily upscalable. B, we only made like the last 4 or 5 AnimEigo Blu-rays. The rest were made by somebody else that since retired from it. So, and they were not able to do SD based on the authoring software they were using. So that is why there is no SDVD AnimEigo discs yet. There will be some at some point.
Yeah. But like you're saying, a lot of stuff that you're licensing, I'm not gonna say what they are, but all Blu-ray.
Yeah,
And like HD, and like HD, like yep.
well,
Like
so
wow.
here's the conundrum, and I'm not quite experienced enough to know this yet, but so anime, you license it on as a cost per episode basis. So I'll offer you X, $100, $1,000 per episode. And when it's like 100 some episode series and you can only do SDVD on it, I get scared. That's a lot of money.
Yeah.
That's a big number, and I can only release one disc. What?
Yeah, and it's not yeah, and there's a ton of anime in that state.
Yeah, I mean, it will come up. It will come up. There are several titles on my list that I know cannot be redone. So
Yeah, and it's not to say you've already said in previous town hall, but it is really exciting to hear just how interested these parties are with working with you.
Go well.
yeah, like they're being very cautious about it, but they're engaging me, and that's the important thing. So at the end of the month, I'm going to Tokyo for TIFCOM, which is there's 2 trade shows every year that I'm going to have to go to. TIFCOM, which is the film market attached to Tokyo International Film Festival, and then there's Anime Japan, the business days, which are not even in the same building as the professional or as the public days. But it's just wall-to-wall meetings. There's nothing all that cool to see or do or no. It's all businessy people. There's not even any like talent there. But I'm still making these connections and these relationships. Like one of the reasons I can't even ask about Gunsmith Cats right now is that we don't have a relationship with Kodansha, and I do need to I have had a friend offer to introduce me. Hasn't happened yet, but yeah, I want to re-release Gunsmith Cats. I don't know if it's possible. I don't even have the ability to ask them right now because there is just no connection there. So
Yeah,
we'll
it's
get
literally
there.
not even like a yes or no for some of these. Like, could we license this or that? There is just like radio silence for a lot of these. It's like you'd contact somebody that has it, and they just don't get back to you. They just ghost you. It's like come on. And then everyone here in the chat it's like, please get this. And we're like, we want to, but you never want to. You can never give the branch of like seeing a title in the chat, and you're like, boy, I wish, or whatever. You can't.
Honestly, the biggest problem I'm running into is the attitude of, that's not going to make any money. We can't be bothered.
Right. It's like,
Like,
no, right.
Even companies that we have an existing relationship with, it's like we get the sort of like nobody's excited about the old stuff like we are, and
Yeah.
that's something that we're going to have to change, but it's going to take some time.
Yeah. Again, with like negotiating and examples of like, hey, if we do this one, you'll take a chance on this one. You're not gonna lose too much or whatever. If it does well, there's a potential for this next one or whatever, and it becomes like a ladder because there are a lot of genres and creators. I don't want to say any because there's a lot of genres and creators that like either were just untested or have been proven to just not do well in the United States. They're like provably, or not provably, or just haven't even tried. Right? So there's like no traction for it, presumably. But it just takes like try this one that's very low risk and maybe there's something there, and kind of like a step ladder on a staircase. Just work your way up. At least I wish that's how it works. That sounds logical, but that's probably not how it works.
People forget these might be faceless corporations, but they're people. They're people that I have to meet with and build relationships with. And as a new guy in town who doesn't have a track record of like paying royalties, reporting, how much sold every month, everyone's like, don't know about this guy. We'll wait and see. And I don't blame them. That I would be in the same way. I can't tell you how many otaku upstarts have tried to start something and tried to enter negotiations and turned out to be just absolute chuckle fucks. There was one point I was surveying at Anime Japan. I was surveying some of the other non-Japanese people in the room. I'm just like, oh, some of these people. Definitely not all of them. There's some really cool people, but there's definitely some where I was just like, I understand now why like licensors aren't just willing to dive into bed with a new upstart.
Just about anybody.
That like you got to protect the mothership, and some of these people aren't super accountable. I mean, we've seen it with every once in a while. I feel like once every 10 years, some anime fan gets without any experience gets it in their head they're going to start an anime company, and they actually get maybe one title and then implode spectacularly. I've seen it again and again and again.
Don't they potentially kind of jeopardize that license too?
Oh, right? Yeah,
because they go ahead with it and it doesn't even go anywhere, and so that kind of gets like more like pulled back and recoiled almost. And that lowers the chances of that title getting a proper release.
Well, not only that, the fact that you lobbied for it in those companies makes you the asshole. It's like, why did you do this?
Do the same thing. You're going to do the same thing that this other guy tried to do with this title?
Exactly. So some companies are better than others. Let's see.
Licensors anymore? No way.
Would titles like MD Geist be considered hentai-ish or hentai adjacent? No, I would not consider MD Geist to be even close to hentai. It has one not even sex scene. There's just some boobs. It's not hentai at all. Megazone is actually a harder R than MD Geist. Would love to see the 90s OVA of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. I don't think that's available, actually. Others have looked into that. I don't think that's a thing.
Like you would think that they would have tried. People would have tried that by now. It's been over 10 years since the original the TV anime came out.